Okay. So, I just remembered that I didn't send out a Twitch notification or a tweet notification, but that's all right. You know what? It's fine. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Adventure on So Many Levels. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Ooh,
Dungeons and
Dungeons and
Dragons.
D
Dragons.
and D.
I'm Christiana Ellis, and I am the Dungeon Master. Our players tonight, Jenny Meltzer as Zaleen,
Hey, y'all.
Paul Fisher as Zinhorn Windborn,
Good evening.
Carolina Swift, played by Starla Hutchton,
Friends, hello.
and Mark Kilfoyle playing Nedry Shiny Rock.
Maybe I should just buy a map and we can write all the places we haven't been instead of Emersham.
It's not my fault. So, when last we left the Pocket Protectors, they had mounted a rescue mission into a demiplane full of demonic fungus, hoping to rescue the many people who were caught there and infected with some kind of evil spores. You made your way to the top of a tower, which had been transported to this demiplane, and there you confronted what was apparently a nascent demon lord in the process of being reborn after their previous defeat at the hands of the heroes of legend in Campaign 1. The priestess of Solomonia who had accompanied you was unfortunately killed during the combat, but quick thinking and an excellent roll of sleight of hand with Nedry's mage hand allowed you all to recognize that this demon lord had a sort of control amulet on them, and by removing it, they were suddenly forced to do your bidding. However, a liberal interpretation of one of their commands allowed them to teleport away to somewhere unknown, and then immediately you found that the priestess who had fallen was now standing up again, and we rejoin the adventure in process as this priestess speaks in a voice not her own, glowing golden eyes, saying, "I am Empress Solomonia. Give me the amulet."
I think we would be okay giving you the amulet if you can promise, give us your word that the people here that have been corrupted can be saved.
This is my purpose, to save them and you. They are dying as we speak. The demon lord is drawing upon them to restore her energy.
Give her the amulet.
Okay.
Are we sure it's really her?
Yeah, how do we know you're really who you say you are and you're not the demon lord inside?
We have dealt with some people who tend to look like other people. And they've tricked us before.
She looks at each of you in turn, and each of you feel as her golden gaze settles upon you, you find that you are restored to full hit points and cured of any conditions that were afflicting you.
Well, that's nice
Well,
of her.
I'm good with that. That's proof. I'm good.
Sort
Yep,
of
same
tingled
here.
a little. That was weird. Okay, I think we're convinced. Looked around at everybody else.
It's
Yep.
not going to hurt her to give her this amulet, is it? The priestess.
Ah, no, it will not.
She's dead.
She has done well in my service, and her life will be restored to her if that is what her soul wishes.
Oh,
Elsewise,
Okay.
she may join me at Mount Celestia.
well, that seems kind of a rude choice, really.
Well, it's her
I mean,
choice.
I know, but who's going to choose not to? That seems, I mean, life is pretty good, but that does
Remember
sound pretty.
I would choose
thing.
no. Just give it to her.
Can we
Nedry.
just give her the amulet before the
Oh,
demon
yeah.
lord
Touching
gets
it.
restored?
Sorry, I'm just curious.
Nedry,
How do-
I think that you wouldn't necessarily have been aware of this as much, except for having a previous encounter with a cursed item, I think that there's a little bit of you feeling that sort of alien impulse in your brain saying, I don't know, this is pretty powerful. Maybe I should hang on to it.
I'm trying not to get the rest of the party to murder me.
I'm not saying you are unable to resist this, only that you, having felt it before, are able to recognize the beginnings of that forming in your mind.
I do have a lot of questions about it. I hope you can answer some of them.
Perhaps. Time is of the essence. Listen to their wails. And sure enough, you're hearing now, like, howls of dismay getting weaker by the moment from all of the voices at the base of the tower.
I'm gonna get behind him and
Nedry,
shove him forward.
Yeah.
Okay. Here.
She takes it and then holds it up, and it begins to glow with a golden light that, in some superficial respects, resembles the light that had been given off by the demon lord. However, this light immediately feels different to you all. It is healing, it is welcoming, it is the sunrise after a long stormy night. It is warm on your face and pleasant to behold. Zaylene, I think even for you, it's like it's bright in a way that would make it like difficult to accomplish other things, but it doesn't hurt you.
Okay.
It feels nice, even though it makes it hard to see. Likewise, Nedry, when she looked at you before, the sensory altering effect that you had been suffering was dispelled as well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and as she is holding this and giving off this light, you hear those moans and wails from below gradually start to just fade and taper off. And if you were to go
I want
and
to look over the edge.
yeah, I was just going to say, it seems like a good idea. You see, you're looking down to the base of the tower, so that you're not really up close. But what you're seeing is all of those people that had been started to crowd around the base of the tower. They have all kind of like laid down on the ground, but you can make a perception check.
Everybody, or
Well, whoever's looking.
I'm looking. Oh, I'm looking.
Well,
25.
I think Zaylene, you would have to roll with disadvantage, as just established.
Oh,
Oh,
I
rolled
will
a
tell you what I see with my
7.
changeling eyes.
So Carolina.
Oh my god. A 7 and a 23.
Well, yeah. So I think that even as you're looking away from where the light is being given off, it's just like it's reflecting off of stuff. But Carolina, you are able to see that although all of these people seem to have laid down on the ground and are not really moving around much, you can see that all of the little places where like fungus had started to like grow out of them seems to be flaking away into dust. Gradually,
Okay.
yeah, gradually the amulet stops glowing, and she places both hands around it, and there's sort of a flash of light as she puts her hands together, and then it seems to be gone. And she says, "It will take the victims some time to recover their full strength, but they will do so thanks to you. The 4 of you have done extremely good work today, saving many innocent lives. And for this, I will bestow upon all of you my boon."
Oh,
And she walks to each of you and just very gently touches the center of your chest with one finger, and it feels just very warm. And as each of you sort of feels this, you feel immediately as though you have been granted some kind of supernatural protection that we'll get into mechanically in a little bit. But right now, all you know is that it feels warm and positive whatever she's just done.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thank you very much.
What happened to the demon lord or whatever she was? They were?
They will be sealed away somewhere that they cannot cause destruction in the immediate term. However, they must be returned to the abyss, lest they upset the balance of the war between demons and devils.
Was it the amulet that brought her, I guess, back? We were trying to figure that out about whether the adversary was responsible or if there was something else to be worried about.
This is a mystery that I am investigating as well.
Oh,
But through your actions here today, I know more than I did, and this has allowed the elimination, or at least the separation, of a dangerous evil from the mortals that we had hoped to corrupt. You will find that you have no difficulty leaving this space.
That was my next question.
mine was, what is this space? Is this something special or something that created or something that the adversary created?
I believe that you have the answers to this already, or can find them yourself. I have other business to attend to, but you have done well, and you have my blessing.
Thank you for your help.
Thank you, Empress.
And she basically just sort of kind of phases into just golden light, and then she is gone along with Essel's form.
The vessel.
Oh,
I hope she's okay.
It was the
That's
same
all
answer
it's
Master
about.
Finster used to give me when he didn't want to answer my questions. You already know, Nedry. I don't know what I know. That's why I asked the question.
As you even just look around you right now, you can see that all of these enormous fungal growths that were present growing out of the top of the tower are likewise starting to just crumble into dust. But rather than giving off clouds of spores as they had before, the dust seems to all just immediately settle to the ground and then just kind of fade away into nothing.
All right.
Okay. So next job is, how do we get out? Do we get out the same way we came in, only easier? Or like, it'd be great if we could bring this tower back, but I don't know how we can do that.
Well, let's look around on our way down, and then we can start see if we see anything that'll show us how to bring the tower back, and then we can start gathering up the people and healing the ones that need help, and then getting them all herded toward the exit. So
Is
that we
anyone
can
else
bring them back
mildly
out.
concerned that this is going to go inside out like the one at the pub did?
Well, if this is a pocket realm that was created by by Midnight Stone, then if the Midnight Stone hasn't been disrupted, wait, maybe I do know.
And he'll cast locate object for the
Mhm.
Midnight Stone.
And when you do, you get an immediate ping of less than 15 feet away at the
do you
center
know?
of the chamber where you initially encountered the demon lord.
I did know.
And he'll go walking for it, just forgetting everything else.
Well, maybe you shouldn't touch it.
what
It'll
you
be
s-
fine.
What you see at the center of that structure is actually what looks like a wide, shallow bowl. And this bowl has embedded in it, flush with the surface of the bowl, 5 different small midnight stones arrayed around the circle.
Oh,
Nedry, but can you maybe put that in the bag? I'm not sure that we want to
Let's
show
not
everybody we have
touch it until we get the people out.
well,
Because the
I
last
mean-
thing we want to do is kill 100+ people that we just saved.
if the Midnight Stones create or maintain this world, they might offer a way to create an exit, which would be much safer than trying to crawl back through the ceiling.
So even as you are like standing there and looking out around you, in some respects the cavern is getting darker because all of the fungus that had been growing here, including the little luminescent spores that were giving dim light to the area seem to all be decaying in the same way, leaving just kind of a bare walled cavern before, you know, behind.
I can learn how they work, but it's going to take time. Or I can just try something.
Looking at this bowl, I always forget does anyone have proficiency in religion?
I do.
Okay, certainly the two of you then can both roll religion checks.
I technically have half proficiency on everything. So
Oh,
Yeah.
keep my
Natural
one.
20.
Oh, well, there you go. Zaleen recognizes immediately that this particular type of bowl is a sacrificial bowl, meaning its offerings are put in bowls like this.
Okay.
And generally speaking, the nature of it being a bowl is because it would need to be holding things that might be messy otherwise, like, for
Blood.
example, blood. Yeah.
Great.
I don't know. It's almost on the tip of my tongue, but I can't quite remember.
This.
just
I
like in the
told
Heroes
you.
of Legend, they had to do the thing at the with the yeah probably for blood. It's gross. Don't do it.
Carolina, not everything is about the heroes of legend.
Some things
Most of it's
are.
just legend.
Okay. So, I mean,
That-
what do you want to do? We need to
I
make a
am
choice.
going to cast dancing lights.
Yeah, me too. I was going to do that right before.
Yeah, I cast light on my
Sure.
shield.
All right, no problem. You doing so, you are able to see.
Okay. So, Nedry.
Well, it'll take time to study it,
Okay.
but it
Maybe
might be
we can-
safer.
Maybe
I-
we can go check out the tower and see if the entrance is like opened differently. But maybe we can just put all the people in the tower, like make the tower smaller, bring it
Mhm.
to the people, put them in it, like kind of collect them, and then bring them out. Do we think that many people will fit in here?
I
Just
mean,
make them smaller.
we had 30 in there last time.
If it takes
There's
multiple
like
trips, then it takes
hundreds.
multiple
We can just
trips.
send them up the stairs.
Yep. Just march right through the stairs and into this pouch. We'll just collect them into a little basket.
A little box.
Yeah.
Well, so on the basis of how you saw them when you looked over the side of the tower, you're not sure they're walking anywhere right now.
Right.
All right.
Well, what if
Well, that's why we're gonna have to get the tower and collect them.
what if two of us go to the tower and two of us stay here so Nedry can study this thing and then we can converge? How long do you think it'll take, Nedry? 10
Nedry's
minutes?
already started casting Identify and started working the ritual around the item.
All right.
I,
Well,
I am going to grab Zaleen and said, "Make sure he doesn't touch anything." To Zinhorn,
He's touching it already.
Okay.
To
I'm
cast
the
a spell.
healer. I should be going down and healing. the
you can
people.
break any
I-
curses. Like you'll be fine. I can heal people. It's good.
I can
Fine.
also heal people. I'm kind of a healer sometimes.
This
It's
is your dragon
okay.
brother. Take care of him.
All right.
All right.
Dancing
So,
lights down the stairs.
Okay.
Get out of this
yeah.
creepy place.
Sure. So, yeah, I think as you start making your way down through the tower, you find that like the bodies left behind of the things that you fought on your way up seem to have also begun disintegrating in the same way as all of the other things have.
Mm.
And when you reach the bottom level, you find that the barricade you had left before had been shifted, and some people had started to make it in like the bottom level, but not very many. But as you encounter some of these first people and can examine them up close, it is clear that the fungus that had been growing out of them seems to have just flaked away, revealing, healthy looking skin. Although certainly all of the people you see are pale, many of them unconscious, and those who are not are looking up weakly and confused, like, what happened?
You'll be all right. I promise. We're gonna get you out of here. It'll be better now. Just hold on 1 minute.
stay together. keep a watch over those who are unconscious, and we will be right back.
Even the ones that were able to speak, they look like it would perhaps be too much for them to even try to sit up.
Okay. So we will walk over through the thing to where we left the tower and inspect the opening and see if it's like open now or
Yeah, as you are making your way in that direction, you actually see coming from there some other lights that look similar to the light or dancing lights spell.
Hello?
Oh, there! It's the pocket protectors.
Yes.
Yep.
All clear. Are you here to help?
And sure enough, they are. It turns out that they explain that they had some guards that were there to watch over the site while you were in there, but what they observed was that all of the fungus started to die and wither and flake away, revealing only a strange sort of runic circle that had kind of a shimmering portal membrane on it, and that when they attempted to pass through, they found the passage now unencumbered by acid fungus and dark inside, but they were just about to start investigating further when they happened across you.
So, got a whole bunch of really hurt people, so probably going to need some more hands helping. I don't think that they're all in pretty bad shape. Alive as far as we've been able to see so far, but going to need some help.
yeah, many of them are still unconscious, and those who are conscious don't even look like they can get up and walk at this point.
So I think what we're going to do is we're going to montage this a little bit. What I want to make clear here is that these guards are looking at you to awestruck. Like you have just accomplished the incredible in a way that they can't fully comprehend, but they're certainly
What?
gonna...
Like it's hard?
That's not how we were talking about it last week.
Yes, but now
Anyway.
she has an audience.
So as that's starting to happen, Nedry, you were ritually casting Identify. Is that
Yep.
right? So what were you doing, Zinhorn, while Nedry is doing that?
I'm going to watch him and be praying to Rashama
Nice.
in thanks at the same time.
Sure. You don't get any kind of like explicit like verbal communication or anything, but you do just feel like you feel him in your prayer in a way that you don't always. And so certainly, Nedry, as you have completed your Identify spell on these, you discover that this is in fact essentially it's an abyssal sacrificial bowl that is like, it is not so much that it does anything except in that it is used for certain demonic sacrificial rituals. However, the Midnight Stones are like added to the existing bowl in a way that has, like, I think as we've established before, the Identify spell doesn't always give you perfect information for these Midnight Stone based things, but having some exposure to them in the past and similar setups, what you believe is the case here is that they were used as a method of using the energy from the Midnight Stones as part of the offering to create a place where the regeneration of a demon lord could happen far more quickly than normal. And what you are discovering now, though, is that they are drained of their magic. So the Midnight Stones seem to be if not entirely depowered at this time, almost. And in some respects, there's a little bit of a sense, you get just a tiny little aftertaste of celestial magic that I would like you to make an Arcana check for.
17.
Okay, I think 17 is enough given the context here. You think that these things are sufficiently depleted that this entire place was on the verge of collapsing, except that they have sort of a divine band-aid applied to them, and you think that at present something that Solomonia did is keeping it running for now.
Well, I've got good news, bad news, more bad news, and some slightly good news.
All right, hit me.
The midnight stones were used instead of a sacrifice. That's good. The bowl, though, is powered more normally by sacrifices.
Ick.
The midnight stones are not exactly much left, which is kind of bad news. And the really bad news is that this place is probably going to collapse very soon.
So there's 5 of them. If we were to, like, I don't know, remove them or destroy them one at a time, could we ease the tower back into the material plane? Do you think?
I don't think there's enough power left in them for that. I do want to take at least one for study, but I'm a little worried about disrupting the celestial magic holding this place together.
Well, then we need to get the people out of here first.
Yep. I'll see if there's anything I can do to extend it for a little while longer, but I don't think it's going to last for long.
All right, I'm going to do an insight check to make sure that he hasn't gotten cursed.
I curse him.
A 10.
Okay. I mean, I think that he doesn't seem to be acting any different.
All right. I'm going to go help with the evacuation.
So Nedry, you don't think that moving the bowl would have any negative effect, except that you probably would not want to remove it from the space.
How heavy is this?
It is, so the bowl is relatively big. It's probably like maybe 2.5 feet in diameter. So, you know, it would be relatively big for you to carry, but it's also not like thick, right? Like it's shallow and the material is not too dense. And so I think that you could carry it, especially if you were just like, you know, if you had one hand on each side, you could just hoist it up, maybe even hold it over your head or something like that. Wouldn't be too hard for you to carry.
So it's my new hat. Okay.
Yeah, you probably want to like have gloves on or something since it's demonic. But
You know, just hold it so that the bottom is on your head instead of like
Right. Where all the
you know.
blood's normally pooling, that's where you want to put it, right directly over your cranium. I'll catch it. Okay. Sure. Yeah, that's good.
yeah. Well, I can stay and help you if you want to move it downstairs.
Oh, who's going to go downstairs?
And he walks to the edge. How far up are we?
It's like maybe 70 feet.
Okay. And he kind of tilts a little bit, kind of holds it up, and takes his pen out,
Mm-hmm.
draws a circle around himself and a line to the ground, and he casts vortex warp on himself
Okay.
to appear at the bottom.
All right.
I'm just going to fly down. Nee.
Well, that seems like it is exactly what I would have recommended.
And I call Buster on the way down.
Yeah. So sure enough, as you are, you know, reach the bottom, you discover what Carolina and Zaleen did, which is that you have a lot of people who seem to be entirely cleansed of the fungus, but also still seem to be very weak and kind of drawn and pale.
So I'd like, I want to examine one of them
Mhm.
using medicine
Okay, sure.
to see if I think that doing 1 or 2 hit points of healing will get them at least up and moving.
Okay. Go ahead and make your medicine check.
Just missed a natural 20.
Aw.
9.
9. It's hard to say. What I'll say is, I think that it's possible, but they also look like they're just exhausted. Like that's what their immediate presentation that anyone trained or untrained in medicine would say. They look just exhausted, like
Okay.
they've been stayed awake for 5 days straight or something.
Okay, so how many can I get within 30 feet of me if I move myself around? Can I get like 25 of them?
Oh yeah, easily, because they were all clustered around the base of the tower.
Okay. How many? How many total are there? Because
More
there's
than
over
100.
100.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna kneel in prayer to Rishama and do my channel divinity and heal 25 of them for 2 hit points each.
Okay. They do seem like you feel the magic go out, and you hear many of those people within that radius kind of sigh with, a little bit of relief, just like, ah. But otherwise, there's not dramatic change.
Okay. So the exhaustion is keeping them from
That would be your guess.
up and moving.
Yeah.
All right. Do I see the guards?
Yeah, I think by this time you're probably seeing Zaylene and Carolina return with the one of the guards. The other has gone back in, or, gone back out to like spread the word. And unless you want to role play any specific more moments, I would be happy to go ahead and montage here that as soon as they report the word, there was a staged nearby team that has begun bringing people in with stretchers, and the work begins to try to gradually bring people out. And as that is taking place, they have people checking everybody, and they're bringing people out, and there's a lot of activity. I would imagine the 4 of you are helping with that process.
Yeah.
And so I think even as so like, would you be staying in there to help, or would you have come out and maybe help with the triage out back in the street?
I think my place is inside until all of the people are out. We came here to rescue them.
Sure. Okay, so so I think at a certain point, one of the people coming back in tells the 4 of you that reports basically just that they are seeing that everyone who comes out is being brought to a clinic where they can be, if they don't have anywhere else to go, they can be treated there until they're able to get back on their feet, or certainly they will also have people trying to contact any family or friends they might have had, if they have some place else they'd rather recover. But they also have some of their own medics conclude that they seem to have been essentially sapped of a lot of their life energy in a way that has left them very exhausted, but they believe that all that is necessary is just rest and recuperation for them to recover their strength. And so that is happening, and they also tell you that the friend of the Emperor would like to speak with you as soon as you are done.
Okay. So we get the last people out. We get Nedry's shiny new bowl to the edge.
Yeah, so I think what happened, so as the last of these people who needed help are brought out, who are the last people in this little pocket?
Nedry for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm staying with Nedry.
Okay.
Carolina said so.
I think at this point, like with everybody else outside, knowing that they're just going to take care of that, I think I would probably head up to the surface just to sort of walk around and make sure everything's getting taken care of.
Would you have collected the tower by now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so I think those of you who are still kind of standing in there by the threshold, Nedry, the bowl starts to get hot in your hand, in your hands.
I think it's starting to lose the extra power it had.
All right, time to go. You're going to try and take a midnight stone, or
As many as I can.
It's the bowl is already unpleasantly hot in your hands and seems to be continuing that
Okay.
trend.
He's going to try to grab a midnight stone and yank it off and see if it's.
Okay, I guess make I would say sleight of hand, except that they're not just like sitting in it, right? Like they're fixed in there. So I would say, you wouldn't happen to have jeweler's tools, I suppose. I wouldn't think so.
No.
Okay,
no.
well then in that case, what I'm going to ask you is just for a strength check.
Okay. Oh, wow. That's really good.
Yeah.
15.
Okay. Yeah. I think that as you manage to get your fingers just around one of them and then wrench it free, it as you pull it into your hand, it's still hot in your hand, but the rest of the bowl starts to like pop and vibrate and tremble.
Time to go.
I'm gonna grab Nedry and run.
Okay. As the two of you, I'm assuming, are the last to
Yeah,
emerge.
Buster would have been back in the tower.
Yeah. As you emerge, immediately upon your exit of the threshold, there is a violent gust of wind coming through there that like blows you free of the opening. And then all of a sudden there is, because you're sitting there just inside this sort of illusory cover that they had put around the overall site. And what you watch is that this portal suddenly sort of like distorts and explodes upwards, and you see all sorts of building debris flying violently out of the opening as though in an explosion, only to see it impact the circumference, the exterior of these wards that were on it, and then bounce back forward. And so it's now it's exploding outward, but constrained by these wards until finally there's the tower emerges, and at first it's upright, and then it's
Run.
Yep. Keep running.
yeah. And it tilts alarmingly until finally it starts to just kind of slow, and then it stops, and it does not fall all the way over, but it looks like it's not stable. So at that point, though, when you sort of come to the realization that it does not seem to be falling further at this time, it's just now it's like the little leaning tower of Pashan. You look down, and that little portal opening seems to have disappeared.
Oh, that's a theory tested and proven true. Just like the garbage mentioned, anything that didn't belong there originally was just ejected.
Mm-hmm.
Probably would have been okay for us. Rather unpleasant, I suspect.
By the way, Nedry, take 4 fire damage from the burning midnight stone in your hand.
Is it still burning? It's still hot?
It is cooling now, but it burned enough to burn your hand.
Okay.
But it does not seem to be continuing to heat up, and it has retained some of that heat, but it doesn't seem like it's just residual now.
Okay. He'll casually cast Mage Hand and just have it holding instead.
Yeah.
Ooh, hot.
Yeah, so you can see that it had a little bit of a glow to it that is fading now as it's held by the mage hand. And you burned your hand, but otherwise, it's just like, ow, that hurts, but otherwise it's not harmed.
Yeah, it's a first degree burn. It'll take care of itself in a couple of days, or
It's fine. The shield took most anyway.
All you need is a long rest. Everyone does that.
yeah.
I'll be fine tomorrow.
So I think as you are kind of together marveling at, because first of all, that whole last little bit of the debris exploding out of that portal was not quiet. And furthermore, it's very obvious at this point to anyone in the area that something was going on. If nothing else, people would have had their attention drawn by the fact that this thing that looked like a condemned building or construction site suddenly has 100 people being brought out on stretchers. So there's a lot of, there's basically like a perimeter set up by the guards that are keeping people away, but there's a lot of people looking from where they can. And so there's enough there that you kind of realize a little bit belatedly that like there's people that are being kept back, but not so far back that they can't see you clearly as a group, kind of central to this whole thing. But
I mean, we've got business cards.
well, so just as you were starting to think that, that's when you just you do hear. Well, now I have to say, it seems that my faith in you has been repaid in spades.
Diamonds, hearts, spades, all the suits.
Clovers, horseshoes, moons, whatever.
Oh yeah,
Unicorns.
Sure.
definitely unicorns.
Pots of gold and rainbows.
Seems weird to
And the
pay
red
someone in
balloons?
unicorns.
Why? Unicorns are amazing.
Yeah, but they're not really currency, are they?
They could
No,
be.
everyone's been taken care of, right?
Oh yes, we've got people handling all the people that you brought out from inside. My people say that they're weak, but should recover, and it seems very obvious to me that that's down to thanking you. I do notice that Essel did not seem to come out with you.
Yeah, about that. Empress Solomonia may have had a little bit to do with everyone surviving.
Yeah, and Essel is gone to stay with Empress Solomonia.
Or maybe she hasn't. It was her choice. I don't know.
Well, all right then. You know what? That just brings me to what I was going to bring up next anyway, which is I would like to request that you all accompany me at this point to the Capitol for a debrief.
Whew.
Yeah,
Okay.
make sure
I'll
it's
need a lot of
catered.
paper.
Yeah, I understand that all of you were probably eager for a rest, but we find that the debriefs are best done when, experience is fresh.
No,
All right.
actually, we're all very refreshed and ready to go.
Mhm.
All the
Yeah.
better for lots of questions then, so come with me.
Yep.
And sure enough, again, what I would ask about the debrief is only that, I guess, just once again, let me know if there's any piece of what happened that you keep from them.
I don't see any reason to keep anything from them.
I think,
think-
the only thing Nedry might emphasize is that this Midnight Stone is dead and useful for research purposes only, and absolutely vital to the understanding of how these things work.
And I would imagine from context that what you were suggesting is that it's you that should research it,
Of course.
as opposed to the research department at one of our universities.
I don't really want to cast any shade, but they don't know anything about it. I've
Well-
already been there, and while they were informative at the time, I think I'm going to be writing some papers for them soon.
Well, there's no question in my mind that you are what I would call a subject matter expert.
Thank you. Which subjects?
What are we talking about? So I think at some point during this process, Zinhorn, you receive a sending from well, you know what? Actually, never mind. Carolina, you have the sending stone. That's what would make more sense. You receive a sending from Lord Relenth, saying that Sunia is. They expect to return to Pashan by sundown.
Yay! So I will pass that message on to my friends.
All right. You just what do you reply to him? Just that
Yay.
you
Oh.
eager to see him, or
Yes, it would be. We're so glad you're safe. Very excited to see you again. Be waiting at the dock? Question mark?
sure. Well, so recall that you all went back in to this place pretty early in the morning, right? And so with all of your adventuring time, but then also the subsequent evacuation and then the debrief, I'd say we're into mid afternoon at this point. Where it's kind of wrapping up, and so although he had each of you kind of telling your take of it separately, just again because it's like we want to get all of the different perspectives on it rather than having it helps to have everybody kind of tell their take on it, but they don't seem to be very challenging in their questions, right? Like they're curious, but they're not probing in a way that feels hostile. They're they want to know what happened, but at this point, you're brought back together, and Nelson says, "So it would appear that the city of Pashan has a lot to thank y'all for. Now, as we have discussed, some of the business that you have all been getting into lately is of interest, let's say, to the Emperor and the Empire in general, right? Dangerous business. On the other hand, you have shown yourselves to be people who are interested in the safety of the citizens and willing to work as a team. And as a result, I think that we can continue this relationship where you all are, let's say, unofficial contractors. Is that an arrangement that sounds amenable to you?
I mean,
Also apply and cover Lord Relenth and all persons associated with him.
Yes, it does. And in fact, I was just getting to that. What I can also just assure you is whatever our future dealings, certainly I am prepared at this time to expunge any record of any indication that there was ever a problem between the Empire and you all. That includes Lord Relenth. We're willing to put down the fact that he fired cannons at Imperial airships down to a misunderstanding, because that's what it was, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It really was.
So there we have it. So the other thing that I'm prepared to offer is, again, as mentioned, we like to work on handshake and verbal agreement type deals. My purview.
You don't want to leave a paper trail.
Yeah, and so what I am,
No paper trail.
what I'm looking to do for you here, in lieu of, say, cash payment, would be to offer my assistance in cutting through the red tape that was holding up the Lord Relenth's plans to turn that Reclaimer's Mansion into the orphanage annex. I think
Oh,
we
that
can
would be
just make
wonderful.
we can just make that sail right on through.
I
That would be
suppose.
fantastic.
Great news.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. So, I think then, what I would be most interested in knowing next is what your plans are for the immediate future, next couple of days, and maybe then a little longer term.
Well,
Uh,
Sunya and Lord Relenth, they're coming back tonight. So they said they'll be here around sundown. So first, we're probably going to go back and catch up with them and, I don't know, probably relax at least for the night.
pick up
Relax.
some
I've
food
got
on the
so much to
way.
talk about.
Maybe do
Yeah.
some shopping tomorrow.
All right.
yup.
Um,
And
As-
then
Well,
pick up
I don't
the trail of the mystery where it was leading us previously.
I don't know that we have concrete plans. Is there a way that I can just, or any of us could just contact you and let you know?
Well, absolutely, there is. We can make that arrangement for sure. We can get you a sending stone of our own. What I would ask, though, is that you do not leave Pashan without coming to talk to me again first.
Of course.
All right.
Certainly.
And what I may ask, depending on what you're planning next, is I may request the opportunity to send with you a supplemental expert to assist you in what you're looking to do.
Oh, what's their specialty?
Well, we can talk about that once we know a little bit more about where you're going. But
Well,
we have someone that I'm sure will be able to act as an asset to your team and to contribute, carry their own weight, so to speak.
Well, it's probably going to be very dangerous, so they better
so-
be able to take care of themselves.
this Percival Kankergus guy, the guy we call the adversary,
Yeah.
I think you need to take that team of mage hunters and send them after him.
Well,
Because
I mean,
this guy, I mean, lots of people died,
There's no question in my
and
mind.
he almost released a demon lord.
Oh well, listen. I appreciate the thought. I'll tell you that you're preaching to the choir here. Now we had our eye on him for a while, but it seemed as though in the last couple of weeks he has leveled up his game quite a bit, and so we are absolutely seeking him with substantial resources. I'll say that.
All right.
if possible, though, don't kill him right away. I mean, he knows a tremendous amount. He's insane, I think, but
Well,
still,
that's the
you know.
trick, isn't it? I mean, I agree with you. If we are able to capture him alive, we would like to, but he is an extremely slippery and dangerous individual that does not want that to happen. And so we'll see
Yep.
what we can do.
And we
As
told
them
you
like
about the
darkness ribbons.
remove curse, right?
Wait, so I heard a couple of things there. Remove curse. What?
Yeah, one of our number did a remove curse on him, and it seemed to work, but he just laughed and he was like, "I've been cursed so many times, you'll have to be there forever, breaking all these curses." So it apparently he's heavily cursed.
Well,
but-
listen. If half the stuff I read in his dossier is true, then he is the most cursed single individual that I have ever heard of.
Would it be possible to get a copy of that? I'd really like to know more about him.
Well, you know what? I think that is something we can arrange, provided that we're working as a team moving forward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, I think so.
I think so too.
All right then. So I'll look into getting that to you, perhaps when next we speak.
Then we'll be in touch.
All right.
All right. Oh, wait! Before you go, there was one last thing. And he kind of leans out the door and says, "Yeah, they're ready." He comes back in, and following in is the guy who led the squad that came to get you in Emirate Arboris, and he is looking down at the ground. His posture is very stiff. He's looking very unhappy, and he just says, "I would like to officially apologize for my unprofessional treatment when we came to escort you back to Pashan. We had orders, but I exceeded those orders in an unprofessional and unbecoming way that did a discredit to the Pashan order and to my own upbringing and the training that I have received. And for that, I hope that you will not hold that against the Empire or its servants, and I will endeavor to do better in the future."
I'm gonna walk up to him and extend my hand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just
He
like shake hands.
okay. He's looking at you at first, like not like angry, but like, what really? He I guess accepts it, but he's still kind of looking at you like
We 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 accept your apology.
You accept his apology.
Nedry
Uh,
will hop off his chair and walk up to him and kind of look up at his downed face,
Mhm.
essentially.
I don't know what you did to Master Finster, but I will.
He's going to turn and walk away.
The guy looks over at Nelson like, what is he talking about? And Nelson just says, that'll be all. And the guy immediately, just like a rubber band was pulling him, like a stretched rubber band was pulling him back out of the room. He's gone as soon as he can. Nelson just says, Master Finster is alive and well back at his residence here in Pashan, as I understand it.
Mm-hmm. But he was convinced to make some very bad choices, and it takes a lot to convince him.
Well, if you'll forgive me, Nedry, I hope I can speak frankly with you for a moment. Yes.
Of course.
In this case, it sounds like the bad choices you're speaking of now are assisting us in being able to speak with you and making an attempt to bring you in peacefully without any conflict. Is that the bad choices you're talking about?
No, not exactly.
All right. Do you care to elucidate? I want us to be on the same page here.
Master Finster is very careful, and he taught me to be very careful. He didn't believe me, or didn't trust me or something, and that doesn't seem right. So I can only conclude that there was something done or pressure brought that he felt he couldn't deal with, which is not good for him.
Well, in the interest of continuing our frank discussion, let me tell you, Nedry, that I understand you have a pre-existing relationship with the man, and I don't want to overstep my place as a new acquaintance. But my personal read of that guy is not good. I was glad we were able to persuade him to help us in this instance. But I got the feeling that he was helping us to help himself, not to help you.
He gives off that impression sometimes. It's confusing, but
Well, you know what? Look, maybe I'm wrong. It has been known to happen. In any case, as I understand it, he's back at his home in here in Pashan. Feel free to visit him if you like.
I will.
All right then. Well, I extended your reservations at the hotel for another night. If you want to go there, sounds like you're meeting up with your friend, so maybe you'll stay there. But like I said, my request would just be to not leave Pashan without coming to speak with me again. Otherwise, I look forward to our continued arrangement.
All right.
All right. So,
It's still fairly early in the day, right?
yeah,
'Cause
it's
we
like
got,
mid-afternoon. Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe we should it's probably it's been a while since you've been by the orphanage, Zinhorn.
Yeah, I was
Maybe,
just
maybe
thinking
we
the
ought to go
same
check
thing.
that out. Make sure everything's okay.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm sure they would love to meet you guys and because you're all big damn heroes now.
Well, so let me remind you, as just a brief retcon, that that you did get in touch with Father Wilfram because he was who you got the reliquary from, which you
Right.
probably want to return to him anyway, unless you're planning to keep it.
Um,
I mean, up to you. You would
Yeah.
negotiate with that with him. I think that he agreed that it was of use when you're going to potentially fight a demon.
right. Well, if the agreement was that I would give it back, then I will give it back. But I need to save my money, and because we're going to need one. And he's also probably going to be very happy to hear about his new orphanage extension.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you heading there then?
Yeah.
All right. So you're making your way across town, and you certainly able to.
Yeah.
You're heading to the orphanage, right? Like not the
Right.
like the main church or temple or whatever. So I
Right.
think, yeah, I think as you are making your way there, you'll come to the main courtyard, which is presently crowded with a bunch of kids that are doing what kids do when they're able to be outside.
Running, playing games, making
Yeah.
trouble.
There's a
Breaking
couple of
things.
acolytes, watching generally, like making sure they don't like run off or impale themselves on the fence or something.
Yep.
I would like to scan the tree line,
Okay.
see if there's any new decorations.
Forgive me, I'm not sure I remember what you're.
It is from quite a while ago.
Okay.
No one else but you was privy to this.
Okay.
Um,
I may just be
contact,
forgetting.
yeah, contact that I may have had previous to joining up with this group in my own personal quest for looking for others of my kind.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Okay, so you had just like I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the details.
Well, what it was is that kind of had been putting a bug in the ear of the orphans that if they
Right.
heard
if-
about anybody
yeah.
or spotted someone,
Mhm.
something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I remember. I think that what they were supposed to like leave.
Yeah.
leave-
Yeah.
a
Each
note?
kid would have had their own color of like rag that they would tie to a.
Okay.
If there's nothing, that's fine, because it's been a while.
No, I think that actually what you find is like 5 or 6 notes that are all along the lines of I saw a weird person in the shadows once, and someone else saying there was a person who looked like they changed their face with magic, and just like they're giving you like kid level hints, but basically they're trying, but none of it sounds like it's what you're looking for.
Okay.
Okay, so I think
So Nidri's just been sitting somewhere writing.
all right. Hold on just a second. Okay. Sorry, I'm distracted by a couple of things here. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. So you're just what are you hoping to do? Just going in to see Father Wilfram? I think
Yep.
he is very happy to see you returned. He was praying for you. You've been off doing such far more impressive adventures than you had during your time in Pashan. I can't help but just be impressed and proud of everything you're accomplishing here. And I have heard that many scores of people were brought out alive of that place after everyone in Pashan thought them for sure surely dead. It's remarkable.
It was hard work. We almost didn't. Well, it was tough. I wouldn't say we almost failed. it felt like it was going to be a hard fight. And then we got very, very lucky, and we're very skilled. We work together well as a team. And then Empress Solomonia showed up and kind of helped knock the demon lord down for good. I mean, I think we could have done it. I'm pretty sure we could have done it ourselves. But I don't know that we would have gotten everyone else out of there alive. And, that was the goal. So Demon Lord dispatched, people saved, tower returned. It's a little wonky. But,
Well, the safe rescue, the safe return of all of those people is remarkable, whether the building is restored or not. And I think it's certainly true that while the tenets of Solomonia's teachings and those of Rashama do not wholly align, it seems clear that neither are a fan of demons.
yes, I would agree. And
I mean, who is really?
um,
Even
I
most
don't even
demons
think,
don't like each other.
yeah, I was about to say, probably everybody doesn't like them, but we got through, and I need to give you back the reliquary
Ah,
that was on loan.
it is much appreciated. I hope that it was helpful to you.
It was very helpful. Um, I was able to use it. I'm obviously going to have to save up my coins to get one for my own.
Well,
Um,
Zinhorn, of what better use could it possibly be here? He hands it back to you.
wow. Thank you very much. That I will use it to do only good.
I know that that's true.
So,
Well done.
thank you.
And he goes to give you a big hug.
I give him a big hug. And I tell him the news about the Reclaimers Academy. That all of that red tape is just magically going to disappear. And so you can expect things to be moving forward at a much more rapid pace.
Zinhorn, I hope that I have already made clear the faith I have in you, but I have to say this is one where I still feel a little bit inclined to say I believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. But if that is in fact true, that is wonderful news. We certainly we we do well with what we have here, but a new structure like that one could be a wonderful
With
new
its own
space.
campus and gates,
Yes.
and all sorts of ways to help raise and train kids to be, adults that have their own lives and careers and families.
Yes, absolutely.
What better calling could there be?
Well, Jester's going, I'm not going to argue with that one.
Yep.
So I think while this conversation is happening, the rest of you are like maybe out with all the kids. So like, so Nedry, you're trying to read?
No, he's writing something specific,
Okay.
and he's going to be leaving in a moment. So
Okay. Well, I think while you're writing, you're probably getting some kids like leaning over your shoulder and you're like, "What are you writing? What are you writing?"
It's beyond your understanding. Maybe someday. It's beyond most of
Oh,
mine
you're
at the
just
moment.
you can tell us if it's secret. We won't tell.
I suppose it's a resignation.
What's the resignation? And then the other one says, "Come on, you know what a resignation? It's like he's quitting his job."
Yeah, that's about right.
the one kid kind of takes that in thoughtfully for a moment, and he just says, I hope you're supposed to have a new job lined up before you quit. Is that, did you do that?
I have a path, and a lot of work to do.
He gives you a solemn nod of approval. This I think that this is probably like this
He's
is
probably
a
taller than him.
I was gonna say it's like a 6-year-old tiefling kid, you know, dressed in the same, you know, plain but well maintained. They're not like ratty or torn or dirty or anything clothing. Then he just like nods. It's like, good.
Do you have plans? A job that you want to do?
I'm gonna be a master sorcerer.
That's a good plan. It's hard work, I think.
I can do it.
Good. I hope I meet you again when you're a master sorcerer.
He folds his arms and says, "It will be so." And then one of the like another kid runs by and says, "Tag, you're it," and he just immediately breaks posture and chases after them.
I am 100% teaching kids about the shell game.
Nice, nice. I love that. Yeah. No, they're all in. Like you're getting the whole range of kids that are just totally falling for it and sure that they're going to guess it right this next time. And then I think you're also noticing a couple of the kids that are standing aside and like tut-tutting it, gambling. And then you have a couple of the kids that are going,
Well, I'm definitely not taking anybody's money. This is
Sure,
entertainment
sure.
purposes only.
Yeah. What about you, Zaleen?
I expended 3 charges of my cloak, and I set up like a little playhouse
Okay.
out of shadows
Ooh.
that we're in there, and we're having like a fake tea party.
Nice. I think that you get some of the gothier kids for sure.
And I talked to them about, about
Death and
the
stuff.
yeah, like
Mhm.
like it's okay, it's nothing to be afraid of,
Yeah. No,
Mistress of the
that
Dark
makes
is your
sense.
friend. She
Yes.
has puppets and cookies.
Yes.
Very nice. Okay. So, Zinhorn, did you have more, or you're just kind of checking in, or
I'm just gonna check in with some of the kids that I
Sure.
knew, sneak up behind a bunch of kids who are watching the shell game and go, once you know the con, you can protect yourself from the con.
Well, what do you think I'm trying to do?
You're teaching them, which is a
Exactly.
good thing. Thank you.
So, as you are, okay, Nedry, you were writing something, and then you were gonna.
Yeah. Zinhorn looks way too busy. Zaleen is having too much fun. Lynn is having too much fun. So kind of on the edge of the range, he'll reach out to Lynn with telepathy.
I'll just be a little while. I have to go do something. I'll be back.
Cast fly and leave as quickly as possible. Before they have a chance to
Barely
say
just like
anything.
in answer, be like, be safe. Just he left and he's gone.
Totally safe. Yeah, just rocket.
Don't touch anything.
What do you think I am? 9?
The gnome with the burn on his hand from grabbing a glowing midnight stone says,
Yeah, that would have gone in the bag, by the way.
"Sure, sure.
So it's as much as he would like to just sort of hold it all the time.
Yeah.
So I'd like to do a small character moment. I'll keep it short
Yeah,
if that's
sure.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So he does use fly because it's a lot faster than his moving speed,
Mhm.
and not really paying attention to if it happens to be catching attention. He's sort of focused on the mission, so that might cause some stares. But he flies to Master Finster's tower.
Okay.
Stands in front of the the front doors, which
Mhm.
are really like the first of several doors because Finster's a little bit
Mhm.
paranoid,
Yeah.
and stands there for a moment, um, but doesn't knock, doesn't activate the wards that would cause a knocking. Um, Instead, takes the piece of paper that he's been writing on, rolls it up, and kind of ties it.
So
Um,
I want to just inquire a couple of things
Mhm.
on that. One is that I guess previous like experience when you would have been coming to this place, like what would have been your normal MO when you're coming here to for a lesson or to just talk to him or whatever.
uh, Finster doesn't like to communicate very much in person, which is
Right.
why he set up the pendant to begin with.
Mhm.
Um, Initially, though, there would have been some contact. So and Nedry knows the inside of the tower,
Mhm.
and he knows there's multiple levels of protection and wards and paranoia. But he's kind of never really thought about it. He thought about it as a master practicing his craft. He's seeing it a bit differently now. But normally, he would activate the wards, which would let Finster know he was there, and Finster would deactivate the doors essentially to let him
Mhm.
in. He also is probably aware that there is some sensory features around there, but
Mhm.
he's not activating or trying not to pay attention to those at the moment.
Okay, so I guess what I'm trying to get at is
Mhm.
if you would be taking steps to avoid being noticed by the security spells and wards that are on the tower.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
All right.
Um, so he wraps up the piece of vellum he's been writing on,
Mhm.
um, and takes off the pendant
Mhm.
and carefully hangs it by the door with the letter through it. Um, I kind of want to read or play out the letter because it's short,
Yeah.
but it's
Mhm.
it's a
Sure.
moment.
Mhm.
Because and the montage vision here is he's actually scribbling on the door,
Okay.
which he's casting magic mouth by writing out the words that the mouth will say,
Okay.
and eventually it will coalesce into the mouth shaped form on the bottom.
Mhm.
But the spell, the essence of the scroll, um, says, "Dear Master Fenster, you have been my teacher, and I've learned much from you. But I think I finally understand your lesson, and I need to learn a new one. I will reach mastery on my own. I return your gift, and I promise I'll read your papers." Signed, Nedry Shiny Rock, apprentice. The magic mouth, when activated, when anyone comes by,
Mhm.
says, "This locket this amulet is the property of Master Finster from Nedry Shiny Rock. Leave it be or be banished." And it has that sort of
Mhm.
emphasis on it as much as he can.
Sure.
And then resolved, he casts fly and moves as quickly away as possible.
All right. I will suggest that just for flavor, um, as you are flying away, you hear the magic mouth activate, and as it's saying that, you know, you're hearing it activate as you're receding, and you hear just a yelp and footsteps running away. Like this neighborhood is the such that your type of security system there is well warranted, and so someone was moving in right as soon as you left to try to take what looked like free necklace, but seemed to have been scared away by, you know,
Oh,
this
and he
amulet is
did
protected by Viper.
one thing. Yeah, one thing I want to say though is he did pull out a memory and put it in
Oh, okay.
the necklace.
Yeah.
And the memory is the argument they had in the library,
Hmm.
and that was the pivotal point for his realization.
Very nice. So, are you just returning to the orphanage?
Yeah, he doesn't quite have all the fly spells to get all the way back, so he'll
Okay.
be walking the
Yeah.
last, half mile or whatever.
Okay. Well, so was everyone? So it sounded like you weren't staying there for all that long, and so if everyone else was staying there for a while, I think maybe you could get there and back rather than us making it a whole ordeal for you to how about this instead? Because as established, but just not really used on screen much, there are places that there are like public sending stones that you can go and just like put a silver in a box and cast a sending. And so you could arrange to meet them wherever you like, rather than having to rely on them staying at the orphanage and you having to walk all the way back.
Sticky Zickies.
Right. We were going to meet there.
Is that where you're all going next?
Yeah.
All right.
Zaylene needs her club.
Okay. So you are you in your separate journeys. You make your way back to the Skyport Tower and up through the central the tower interior to where you find once again Sticky Zicky's Adventuring Emporium, which, for those who may not recall, is essentially it is an adventuring sporting goods store. It is a big open space with all manner of different adventuring gear that you might want to find, with all sorts of illusions creating various dioramas so that one area looks like a desert and another area looks like a jungle or a dungeon, and they have, armor on display and basic weapons and ropes and torches and all of these fancy things. There are common magic items that are on display here and there, but you also know that more expensive magic items can be purchased as well as, and they also buy and trade magical items.
So it's like fantasy Bass Pro Shop.
Oh, well, I was
Yeah,
saying,
kind of.
yes, although REI was specifically the reference I had in
A
my
little
head.
bit more upscale than Duck Dynasty.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
So,
Yeah, Bass Pro Shop is just
yeah,
huge. So anyway.
Well,
Just wait till
sure.
we get to the Bashan IKEA.
yeah.
That's what I'm excited about that.
You get lost in a regular one. Imagine the one in
You
Bashan.
thought those were names of furniture. Those are spells, man. Florgendorf.
That's the name you call them so that it animates so that it'll walk home and deliver itself.
I need to outfit the bag a bit more. I need to.
Yeah. So I think one other thing that I will because we're going to do this in slightly different order because I guess I was sort of assuming that you'd meet up with Yobert before you went to Sticky Zickies, which is totally fine. But what he'll send another message to say, now that my assets and funds are not frozen, I've arranged for a 2,000 gold credit limit. No, not 2,000, 20,000 gold credit limit for the party at Sticky Zickies.
Oh, now I need to make a list of spell components.
Okay.
So, as before, anything that is just standard equipment that is listed in the player's handbook can be purchased here at that price. Magic items, they don't necessarily just have everything, but they do have lots of things. So I guess as you enter, there are a couple of sales associates, but you do also see Gleeg, the bugbear niece, who's the advertising bat was her creation. You do see her over at one of the customer. She's like at the customer service counter.
I'm gonna march right over there.
Yeah.
Like, you got any more of those cool bats that you were making? Did you start manufacturing those yet? Because I had to give mine away.
Do I? And she gestures to a display where they're now. There's like an end cap. With them.
Nice.
She says, "To be honest, we haven't sold a ton of them, but we have sold some."
That's good. That's
Mhm.
good. I actually used mine as a bargaining chip to get these little, what were they, gnolls?
They're
I don't
kobolds.
remember. Kobolds.
Yeah.
To get them to do a favor for us. And they thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Well, they're right.
They
Yeah.
are.
Sorry.
I was really sad that I had to part with it.
Aw. Well, you know what? I have to say, how about this? as a repeat customer, certainly not only the first purchaser, but the first repeat customer, I'll give you a 25 gold discount. So that's just 125 gold for this one.
I'll take it.
All right. And she, pulls one out and hands it over to you. Is that going to be all, or you got friends here?
Yeah, I have friends here, and I also need some other things. Last time we were here, I talked to, I don't remember who it was, it's been so long, about getting sort of like a cloak of elven kind, but
Oh yeah,
for
My Uncle Zicky, he put one aside for you. He's got the cloak of elven kind with all the dark elf trimmings.
nice. So I need one of those. I need to get a gem worth 300 gold that has tears inside it.
Hang on just a second. I'm I am looking things up, so I will definitely need to have just request slowing down just a little bit. Okay. Buying magic items. Okay, so one moment.
Mhm.
um, magic items. Okay, yeah. So the cloak in particular, the one in particular that you were looking at is called a Piwafwi. So Piwafwi. That's so you can look that up in D&D Beyond.
Okay.
Okay, and that is going to be, let's see, it's uncommon. Yeah, so I think that'll be 300 gold for that.
Okay.
Okay. And then so that was 300, and then you wanted the gem for 300.
It has to have tears in it, I guess.
The gem does?
Yeah. It's for my shadow summoning spell, which I didn't realize
Okay.
it until last week. So I want to remedy that.
All right. Well, I think what what I think they have is a gem that is cut in such a way that it has a little hollow. And they said, I don't think we have one that comes with tears already inside, but I think you could, you could, if you can obtain the tears.
Yeah. I've just
I've
been
got songs
using
that could make you cry.
I've just been using this, and I hold up the diamond with Rupino in it because I figured that there's a guy in here. I figure he's been crying a lot because he's been in there for a really long time. So I just
Ah.
assumed that it would work.
Uh,
And I mean, it did.
Great.
But
That's
yeah.
that's a hell of a gem.
Right?
Wow. Where'd you get that?
Inside my tower that I have, there was like this little magic. I don't know. It was like a auction, and
All right.
Yeah.
Keep your secrets.
no, it's the truth. It's not a secret. I got it at a weird, fake, crazy, imaginary auction inside my tower.
All right. Well, I don't suppose you're looking to sell.
No, I'm kind of attached to it. I didn't even buy it. I stole it from Zinhorn.
Well, I won't tell.
Okay, thank you.
So, is anyone else buying anything?
I would like to look at their musical instruments.
Okay.
Anything that has a little something extra.
Well, they actually have that they were the party was shown the last time they were here, but you weren't there. An instrument of the bards. Yeah, let me. I'm pulling up the list of which one they had. They've got. Yeah, because there's basically a whole bunch of different ones of them. Okay. They have, as it happens, they have the DOS loot, DOSS loot, which is uncommon, and that one would cost 300 gold. But they also have the Kanath Mandolin, which is more powerful, and that one would is considerably pricier. That one would be 2,500 gold.
We have 20,000 credit, right?
You do, yes.
What is the other one?
So the DOS loot, DOSS loot,
No, the second one.
the Kanaith Canaith mandolin.
Cannaith.
You could also just do Instrument of the Bards. Search that, and
Okay.
so each of those have the ability, first of all, that anyone who's not attuned to it trying to play it will take psychic damage. You can also use it to cast spells, and then it can give you other various benefits. But the difference between the two in particular is that one is able to cast more powerful spells than the other.
I don't really have anything, so I feel like I want to go for the more expensive one.
All right. All right. That's all right. What about Zinhorn or Nedry? You're muted.
You're
Paul.
muted.
Nedry, why don't you go? Because I'm still trying to put together all of the things that.
Okay.
I think all he really needs is
About 500 GP of pretty common dusts.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
just the volume that he needs. So
Certainly, there's a whole component section that looks a little bit like those some of those like Asian herbal medicine shops where like it's just like walls of little tiny wooden drawers that each has just slightly different things in it.
oh, and one thing to make it official, because a long time ago when we were like at Glass of Sticky Zickies,
Mm-hmm.
someone had picked up a decanter of endless water for Nedry, but it never got transferred.
Oh, okay.
So I'd like to just go like,
oh, there it is. Thanks for holding this forever.
and make that official on my character sheet now.
Okay.
Um,
All right. Yeah. Okay. So the other thing is to like, feel free to like, even if you don't know a specific item, to just kind of if you have a general like category of something you're looking for here. Also, bear in mind that if you have stuff that you're not using, you could potentially sell it also.
I do want to sell the external skeleton.
Okay.
We haven't never actually used that, so
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, Gleek says that she needs to have Ziki come in and identify it, but he can do so shortly.
okay.
Was there anything else?
To sell.
The other thing we can do is that we can like if you think of something later, like you could make another trip before you leave town or something like that.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, like I want to talk to the party. Like being a cleric is very expensive. There, like if I need to raise dead or something, then that's a 500 gold piece gem, and
Mhm.
if I need to do some of the other spells, it's like I'm gonna need a crystal ball or something worth 1,000 gold pieces, or a jewel worth 1,000 gold pieces, or 250 in
Mhm.
incense, and
Yeah.
it's like all of this stuff can come in really handy,
Oh,
but
for
I
sure.
can't do it without actually spending the money. So I want to make sure that it's all right with you guys.
So they offer you 1,800 gold for the external skeleton.
Okay. Um, I'm good with that.
And
What about you?
they are happy to like if you wanted it to be cash, you could do that. But also since you have a line of credit, you could just apply it to that.
I'm okay with applying it to the line of credit.
Hmm.
So it's credit is 21,800.
I'm keeping a tally. Don't worry.
Okay. Um,
Hmm?
I need to go over this
Okay. Well,
offline.
we
'Cause
can do
it'll-
that
it'll
offline.
take a
So
while.
if you're just doing like spell components and stuff like that as
Yeah.
opposed to items. Okay.
I would maybe like do they have some sort of better armor?
Yeah, absolutely. So what kind of better? I mean, obviously there's magic armor, but
Right.
you looking for any particular kind of armor?
Um, well, I have this breastplate, which is magic, but something, you know, this is my mom's shield. I'm not giving that up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you know, like something that would make me tougher in a fight, harder to hit.
Sure,
Um,
sure. Well, let's see. What kind of price range are we talking about here? Because
um,
we've got some that goes up to pretty pricey, even in the credit limit you're looking at.
well, that's what I need to know. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know what this armor would cost, much less, armor
Well,
that was
how
better
about you
than
give me a budget?
it. Budget. So like 5,000.
Okay, okay. So what that puts us is we're in the rare category as opposed to very rare, etc.
Okay.
Yeah. So here, let me. I'm looking at what they've got. Um, let's see. Um, well, you know what? I was just about to recommend that we had some armor that gives some benefit to like lightning resistance, but then I looked at you and I said, you know what? That's a fellow that's probably already got lightning resistance.
Yep.
Well, let's see. We've got, you know, you strike me as a fella who, uh, while you have many strengths, perhaps sneaking up on folks is not one of your strongest attributes.
That is true.
We do have a set of mithril half plate. What that does is basically it's plenty strong, but it's a little
Hmm.
bit lighter. It's a lot quieter.
Interesting.
I think I'm double check. What's your current AC?
My current AC is 18.
Okay. Is that with a shield or no?
That is with a shield. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think let's see. Yeah, hang on just a second. I think that this will definitely be a benefit to you then. Um, so the half plate. Sorry, I'm doing D&D Beyond. It takes a little bit to search. So what is your Dex modifier?
My dex modifier is 0.
0. Okay. So this then your breastplate is so this mithril half plate. You would not have a penalty to your stealth, but it would your AC would actually come down a little bit with this particular piece of armor.
Mm.
I mean, because your breastplate is prioritizing your
Yeah.
protection there. How about, let's see, we do have a breastplate here that it it'll give you the same level of protection you've got for any kind of all normal blows, but it's made of a special material that what it does is it's especially resistant to extraordinary blows. And so if someone was getting a lucky shot that just happens to be a lot more powerful than it otherwise normally would be, it's especially resistant to that, and mechanically it makes you immune to criticals. Like any critical hit that would hit you is made just a regular attack instead.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, but otherwise it's the it would be the same AC.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
was hoping to get my AC up.
Well, I mean, so you've got 18 is not a low AC.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm kind of like
So you're okay. I'm just
a
saying,
bullet
like,
sponge at
well,
this point
okay.
since Trina's gone. I'm
He's
kind of-
gun shy because he got knocked unconscious
Well,
last week.
that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. Okay. Well, so here's the thing. You could also just be looking, if you're not necessarily looking for magical armor, you just get yourself a set of full plate armor. And that's gonna give you an AC of 18 even without a shield.
Huh.
And then I suppose we do have some. Let's see. I'm looking at what armor sets we've got here. Yeah. So I think that we probably could give maybe a +1 set of full plate armor, get you up to 19. But that is on the upper end of our price budget there for that. I think that's going to be 4,500 for that.
Okay. And talking to the party now. Are you guys cool with me selling the +2 breastplate?
Oh, see, I forgot your breastplate was already a +2. That was kind of what was throwing me a little bit.
Yeah, that's the
It's-
breastplate that belongs to one of the dead guy or the guy in the diamond. It belongs to the dead guy that we've been keeping alive. Well, we've been keeping him not revivable.
From being undead.
Yeah,
Have you revivified him lately? I mean, like, have
I
you...
keep this spell so that I made sure we were in the 10-day window.
Okay.
Yeah, I had forgotten that you're talking about literally selling the ancient magical breastplate that you took from one of
Right.
those important.
That's
people that
why
you
I'm.
really have. Yeah.
That's why I brought it up.
Fair enough.
Maybe we ought to not do that. He might want it back if he ever gets uncorrupted.
Well,
and
I was about to say
and-
undead, but no, brought back to life.
Bear in mind, hang on, let me just double check
But-
that you've
Ooh.
got proficiency on. I think clerics do have proficiency on heavy armor, right?
Yeah.
I do,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So
Um,
bear in mind that this full plate armor is definitely not going to help you with the stealth any.
I understand that, but I'm already not stealthy. I just want to be a little bit tougher to hit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you guys okay with me spending that much money on
How much was
upgraded
it?
armor?
45.
4,500.
Go for it. It'll make you feel better.
It will, and we'll put the breastplate in the bag or something.
Okay.
Is the Sticky Zickies, is it the Magical Great Club or the Advertising Great Club?
Probably the advertising one.
Okay, because one of them does 1d6 and the other one does 1d8.
Oh no, they're the one that it's supposed to be is one that it's versatile, so you can do it one-handed or two-handed.
Okay.
And
Yep.
it's
That's
1d6.
the.
Yeah, 1d6 for one-handed and 1d8 for two-handed.
Okay.
So I do have one more question about armor.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've heard of this stuff called shift weave, and I know it can be pretty expensive. But I'm wondering if theoretically shift weave, while it, can contain different clothing, is there like armor that can do something similar?
Oh, you want armor like glamour weave that can or can change
Well, I'm
how it looks?
well, I'm not necessarily so much concerned about the way it looks as more like the size of it. Like say I if I put on a few pounds or lose a few pounds, like it
Well,
can adjust.
magical armor definitely is just going to do that kind of as a natural property of its magicness. That's pretty common trait. Magic armor is going to resize to fit you.
And how much would something like that run?
Well, so we could get you pretty standard, like I'm just, I'm gonna have to figure out something for your plate armor there, Zinhorn, because I was absolutely wanting it to not just be a +1. I'll figure it out.
Oh, it brought me up to 20.
Oh, okay. Don't add it yet, though. Is what I'm saying.
Oh,
Is that
okay.
I'm going to get you something that's not just +1 plate
Oh,
armor.
okay, got it.
Yeah, so that's okay. Um, yeah, okay, sorry, you guys, this is hard to look all these things up. I apologize.
Well, if you want to do that like offline,
Yes.
just say
Yeah.
that I asked about it.
Yeah, so how about this?
Figure it out.
We will retcon or figure out more of this, or we can say they will look into that for you. They will look into what sorts of magic plate armor they might have and magical light armor for you, Carolina, and they will get back to you, and you can come on a different trip to figure out what they've actually got available.
All right.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
One last thing to look
Sure.
into, and
Mhm.
that's
I
in the
also have one more thing.
Sure.
do.
No, that's yeah. No, that's okay. It's like when it's more generic and okay. So
Yeah.
yeah. Go ahead.
go ahead, Daleen.
I just want to. I need to find like a solid martial weapon other than my bat.
Okay.
So I'm looking for, I don't know, like a rapier or a decent scimitar
Mhm.
that will do damage but doesn't require attunement.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, I think then I will also get back to you on what they have available.
Yep.
I think that's going to be common practice here at this place. Is just like we have things in lines on people looking to sell other things, and they're not all in stock on the shelves, and so I think you know what I apologize, everyone. I'm gonna ask that we perhaps actually end tonight's session a little bit early. Part for a couple of reasons that I'm not going to actually get into because they are not necessary to put on the stream, but it's fine. But if that's okay with everybody, we will work out some of the remaining Sticky Zickies purchases and then have your reunion with Lord Relenth next week when we return for more adventure on so many levels.
So
Many
So many
levels.
levels.
items in the store.
It's a very tall store. There are so many levels.
Yeah.
Mhm.